Tom, nice to see you again at the Apple Park. Strong announcements today. What is your take on the products that were launched today?
Yeah, a lot of interesting things. I think Apple delivered on what was rumored with the Air. Very interesting product. I think it looks amazing on paper, but when you pick it up, it's really quite something.
Yeah, indeed.
I think the new Pro products are also very interesting. New design that I think will appeal to a lot of people. I think it's going to be an interesting holiday season. Long-time iPhone users are going to have some tough decisions, whether it's the 17, the Air, or the new Pros, the Pro and the Pro Max. But I think a lot of really interesting technology in the phones, and then of course some really interesting products, new watches, and new AirPods Pro.
Yeah, the iPhone 17 Air in particular will probably do in the same price segment with what the previous Plus versions never did to Apple, which was to help getting the ASPs higher, because either people would prefer to buy the standard versions or the Pro, and the Plus were always sitting in the middle and very challenging indeed. When we look into the IDC data, the Pro versions of the previous generations did better than the latest Plus versions. With this new Air, it's a very different device, so it's a completely different story, and it will attract those users that will not be able to afford or don't want to buy the Pro versions, but need to update, and they don't want to update to a device that is similar to the previous years. And
right.
The 17, the design of the 17 is similar to the 16, and Apple made it clear that from now on, those who really want to buy something different, they will spend a bit more, but they get a lot better technology and also a completely new design, and I think that will work quite well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's very interesting about the Air is they are trying to bring some Pro features into that form factor. I think one of the concerns heading into this was to get that thin, you would give up a lot of functionality and a lot of features.
But they didn't.
And for the most part, they've managed to squeeze an awful lot of functionality, Pro level features, including that camera unit, which is, effectively it looks like one camera, but there are multiple cameras inside that, which I think is very interesting. So, one of the other elements that I think will be really interesting, and you hit on it, right, is when people buy a new phone, they want it to look new. They want people around them to know that they have the latest and greatest.
Yeah, exactly.
And so Apple achieves that both with the Air and with the new Pro lineup. And frankly, I really love the orange on the Pro. Very happy to see Apple doing some dynamic colors. They've typically sort of trended towards more muted colors. So very excited about that.
Yeah, and this new lineup is all about accelerating the upgrade cycles, because anyone who wanted to buy something different, they were postponing their purchase, and that's why consumers keep holding their phones for longer. There's little incremental innovation, and the only way to accelerate upgrades is either something very disruptive or a completely new redesigned product, and that's what Apple is achieving here with a redesigned product. Of course, with more innovation, more capabilities, with better performance, better cameras, but by giving a different look and feel to their products, that will drive upgrading cycles.
Certainly, and I think one other thing that's really important to note is, in this era of trade wars and tariffs, they held the line on pricing.
Yep.
Their base models have more storage than in the past. And one of the things that we've been thinking a lot about is, particularly in the US, but worldwide, these trade wars are going to cause consumers to spend more money on the things that they buy every day. And so it can become very challenging to make an investment in a new phone. Holding the line on pricing and then bringing these new form factors to market, I think will help Apple. And then I want to spend a minute talking about both the AirPods Pro and the new watches. The AirPods Pro 3, really interesting product. You know, new, smaller form factor, new AI, the ability to do translation on device.
That was very interesting.
New tips. You know, frankly, I'm a long time iPad or AirPod Pro user, but I've always used third-party tips. They now have 5 different tips, and those tips have foam in them, which I think, I haven't tried them yet, but to me, it's just, it's sort of a slam dunk in terms of that product, and Apple holding the line again at $249 for a really feature-rich product with improved
heart rate monitoring as well.
Has heart rate monitoring, which is new. It's got improved noise cancellation.
Yeah.
I just think I think that product will do very well. And then the Apple Watch, you know, some very interesting new features there, focused on health, including the hypertension, which, you know, Apple put forth a number in the presentation about how many people they think they can help with that.
All of us when we get older.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. And then on the Ultra, you know, adding that satellite feature, which is going to be really useful for the way that that product gets used by the people who use that product. So I would say overall it was a very strong set of announcements. Apple's really well positioned headed into this holiday season.
Agree. And just one last question. How do you see these announcements in the context of the enterprise space and the B2B segment?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, Apple is always in a good position. A lot of companies have standardized. I think adding another, in addition to the 17, you now got the Air, in addition to the Pros, and the 16E, and so they hit all price points. And I suspect that you will probably see some commercial buyers gravitate towards that 17 and the Air at their price points. You know, not pro level pricing, but the latest silicon and many of the features that people expect.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Nice to see you again.
Great to see you.
In the Steve Jobs Theater.
Yes.
Thank you.
Take care.